everyone. A very big hello to all the children who are staying indoors today and enjoying their time with their mummies and daddies and grandparents. My name is Shrutika and I'm a story educator with Little Reader's Nook. And today I'm here to tell you a story. Are you all ready to listen to a story? Yes? So shall we start? Great. So before I begin my story, I want to check would you know what the word chrysanthemum means? Have you heard this word chrysanthemum? Uh, yes. So chrysanthemum actually is the name of a flower. Like you have different flowers like roses and tulips and daisies. So chrysanthemum is a flower. And the name of my story is Chrysanthemum. So let's begin. So once upon a time, there was a mouse family. And in that mouse family was born a little baby girl mouse. And the day she was born, her mommy and daddy were very excited. Yay, yippee, a baby girl is born. How cute she looks. Oh, how darling. She's so wonderful. Like when you were born in your house, I'm sure your parents were so excited. That's how when this baby girl was born, her parents were very excited. Now, when they saw the baby, they wanted to keep her name, which was absolutely wonderful, which meant everything. Yes, she is everything for us, so her name should also be most wonderful name. So, after a lot of thinking and brooding over different names, they thought of the name Chrysanthemum. Wow, what a beautiful name, Chrysanthemum. That little baby chrysanthemum was an infant, and then she grew to be a toddler, and she started growing and growing and growing. And when she was a little girl, maybe about 4 or 5 years of age, she started just loving her name. She loved the name, she loved the way when her mum used to call her, Chrysanthemum, darling, come here. Or when her daddy would call her, Chrysanthemum, come inside, dinner is ready. She would love the way her friends would call her, Chrysanthemum, come out and play with us. And she would, also write her name on the bathroom mirror, and she would love it. She loved the way it was written on the letter that she would receive. Or she also loved the way it was written on her birthday cake with buttercream frosting. Wow, lovely. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. She just loved her name. And now Chrysanthemum was big enough to go to a school. So her parents, like all your parents, send you to school. So they also enrolled Chrysanthemum in a lovely school. And the first day of school came. Chrysanthemum was so excited. Yippee! I'm going to school! I'm going to school! I'm going to meet so many friends there. I'm going to meet new teachers. And I'm going to learn so many things. Wow, mommy, I want to go to school. I want to go to school. So Chrysanthemum, on the first day of school, she wore her beautiful yellow dress with a nice flower made on it. And she took her bag and she was all so excited to go to school. She reached school and she saw there were so many children in her classroom. There were about 20 or 25 odd children in her classroom. And then her class teacher was there, who was called Mrs. Judd. Now when all the children reached the school, the class teacher takes the attendance, isn't it? She checks who all are present and who all are absent. So Mrs. Judd took the attendance that day. Joe, present ma'am. Rita, present ma'am. Victoria, present ma'am. Sam, present ma'am. Chrysanthemum, present ma'am. Chrysanthemum, chrysanthemum. Some children started laughing. Chrysanthemum, what a funny name, chrysanthemum. It's such a long name, said Joe. It barely fits on the name tag, said Victoria. And then she also said, I'm named after my grandmother, and chrysanthemum is named after a flower. Poor chrysanthemum wilted. Until now she thought her name was so wonderful, but today she was feeling so bad. After a little time, there was rest time in school. And while everyone was resting, Victoria raised her hand and said, Ma'am, I want to say something. Mrs. Chad said, Yes, Victoria, what is it? Tell me. Victoria said, Ma'am, you know chrysanthemum is such a long name. It has 13 letters in it. You know, in the English alphabet, there are 26 letters. Half of the alphabets are there in chrysanthemum. It's such a long name. Mrs. Chad said, Thank you, Victoria. Thank you for the information. Now put your head down. How did chrysanthemum feel? Very bad and very sad. After some time, it was time to go home. And all the children made a queue and they were standing in a line to board the bus. Over there also, Joe said, You know what? If my name was Chrysanthemum, I would just change my name. Chrysanthemum said, How I wish I could change my name. She boarded the bus and then in some time reached home. Chrysanthemum's parents were waiting for her. Hi, darling. How are you? How was your school today? How was your teacher? How are your friends? What did you do today? What did you learn? What did you eat? They were so excited to know about Chrysanthemum's day at school. But Chrysanthemum, she was sad. School is no place for me. I don't like school at all. They said my name is so long. It doesn't fit on the name tag also. And then I'm named after a flower. I don't like school at all. Chrysanthemum's parents said, Oh, darling, don't be sad. You have such a beautiful name. Don't be so sad. They're just jealous of you. It's okay. Come inside. Come inside. And they took Chrysanthemum home. And that day, Mummy had made her favorite dish, pasta. Wow. Chrysanthemum had a favorite dish. And after having her favorite dish, she felt a little better. That night, when Chrysanthemum went to sleep, she also dreamt that her name was Jane and not Chrysanthemum. And she felt much better after getting that dream. So morning she got up, though she was not too happy, but she got ready for school. Because it's not good to miss school, isn't it? So she got ready and then she left for school. When she reached school, again in school that day, during playtime, Joe, Rita and Victoria, they again started laughing on her. Look at her, Joe said. She also looks like a flower, isn't it? Victoria said, Come on, let's pick her up. And then Rita said, Let's smell her. Maybe she smells also like a flower only. Maybe, let's go and see. How did Chrysanthemum feel? Very sad. Poor Chrysanthemum. She wilted, drooped. Very sad she felt. Again, during their nap time, when they all were resting, putting their heads on their hands, Victoria again raised her hand. Mrs. Chad, ma'am, I want to say something. What is it, Victoria? Come on, tell me. Victoria said, Ma'am, chrysanthemum is a flower, right? And chrysanthemum is there in the soil. And in that soil are also worms and insects around that flower, isn't it? So chrysanthemum actually stays in a very dirty place. Mrs. Chad said, Victoria, thank you for the information. Please put your head down. Chrysanthemum felt really bad. And again, while they were queuing up to go back home to board the bus, again Joe and Rita made fun of her. I wonder, how do you have a name like this? My God. And Chrysanthemum also felt the same. I wonder, how do I have a name like this? In some time, she reached home. Mummy and Daddy were again excited. Wow, Chrysanthemum, darling, you're back home. How was your day? Did you have fun? Did you meet new friends today? Tell us about your day. And Chrysanthemum is sad. School is no place for me. I don't want to go to school. They say that I even look like a flower, and they wanted to pick me and smell me also. I don't like school. I don't want to go to school. Oh, darling, you have such a beautiful name, darling. You know, they will take time to understand you. I think they're just jealous of your name. You have such a beautiful name. Don't worry. Come inside, come inside. And they took Chrysanthemum back inside the home. Now, that day, Mommy had made a lovely chocolate cake for Chrysanthemum. It was her favorite. Chrysanthemum had that cake after her meal, and she felt so nice because she always felt very good after having Mummy's cake. And then at night, when she slept, she had a dream. She had a dream that she was actually the chrysanthemum flower, and Victoria and Rita and Joe were plucking her petals. Pluck, 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 pluck. She got up with a scare. That was the worst nightmare she ever had. Now it was so difficult to go to school. Third day of school, and she really didn't want to go. But it's not good to miss school, isn't it? She knew that. So like a good girl, she got ready again. And that day, she wore her beautiful jumper. Her jumper had, 7 pockets. And, she kept her lucky charms inside her pocket everywhere. Maybe she crossed her fingers. Maybe my day is good today. And she went to school. She really dragged her feet to school that day. So she reached school, and this was her third day. And there, today in school, they had a music class. And all the children were introduced to the music teacher. Her name was Mrs. Twinkle. Now, Mrs. Twinkle was a beautiful, a wonderful, such a warm teacher that all the children in the school just loved her. They just wanted to do anything for her. Whatever Mrs. Twinkle would say, they would just do it because they just love that teacher. I'm sure in your school also, there would be so many teachers whom you would love, isn't it? So they all love Mrs. Twinkle. And that day, Mrs. Twinkle had a music class. All the children did very well. And then Mrs. Twinkle told them, the children, we are going to have a musical, our annual musical soon. And I'm going to give you different roles. So all the children were given different roles to enact in that musical. So someone was asked to be a butterfly. Joe was given to be a pixie messenger. Victoria was given the role of a butterfly princess. And Chrysanthemum, her role was to be a daisy. The moment Mrs. Twinkle announced this, again all the children started laughing. Chrysanthemum's a daisy, chrysanthemum's a daisy. They were all chanting, chrysanthemum's a daisy, chrysanthemum's a daisy. Mrs. Twinkle said, what happened? What happened? Why are you all saying like this? And Chrysanthemum looked sad and dull. And then Joe said, nothing, miss, nothing. It's just Chrysanthemum. Her name is so long, isn't it? And then Rita said, it barely fits on the name tag. And Victoria said, and she's named after a flower. Mrs. Twinkle wasn't surprised. And she said, so what? So what if she has a long name? You know what? Even I have a very long name. And my name also doesn't fit on the name tag. And even I am named after a flower. Everyone was shocked. Really? Is it? Ma'am, what is your name? Mrs. Twinkle said, well, my name is Delphinium Twinkle. Yes, it is a long name and I'm named after a flower. And you know what? I'm going to have a baby soon. And if my baby is a girl, I really plan to keep her name Chrysanthemum because I feel Chrysanthemum is such a beautiful name. Everyone couldn't believe their ears. Oh my God. And now, after hearing this, how did Chrysanthemum feel? She felt wonderful, lovely. And all the children suddenly, they all wanted to keep their names also on flowers. Ma'am, even I want to be named as Marigold, said Joe. And then Rita said, you know what? I want to keep my name Daisy. And Victoria said, ma'am, can I keep my name Carnation? Everyone wanted to keep their name on a flower. Chrysanthemum could not believe her ears. She was so happy, and suddenly she felt, oh wow, I knew my name was wonderful. I knew it was one of the most best thing about it. Yes, I love my name. And that day was the most wonderful day of Chrysanthemum at school. She went back home really happy that day. Yes, and that is the end of our story. So, did you all enjoy the story? Yes? Do you all like your names? All names are good. Okay, another thing, what I like about this story, Chrysanthemum, is that all of us, when we go to school, there are some things which are not so pleasant at school. Of course, there are very pleasant things in school. We make good friends over there, we learn new things, we meet our teachers, we have a good time in school. But there are times when something bad happens, we don't like something. Like in this story, Chrysanthemum, she was being bullied by her friends. Yes? Now, in such a situation, what should you do? You should come back home and tell your parents about it. You should discuss it with your teachers. Always, always come back home and tell your parents about something which you did not like. And of course, share things which you like in school. Yes? And if there is a problem, you, your parents, and your teachers will together solve the problem. Okay? So that is the learning that we take away from this story. Now, one last thing I want to tell you. Chrysanthemum is the second most popular flower in the whole world. It is so popular, yes. Will you find out which is the most popular flower in the world? Yes, after the story, get on to searching on which is the most popular flower in the world and learn something about it. Yes, and stay safe, stay happy indoors. Goodbye, see you soon.